Hi, and welcome to my Quirky Chat from the Costa del Calm. As some of you know, I have started doing something I'm calling the Coronavirus Chats, which I have been recording and going and putting them up on YouTube. However, I have decided to go with doing the recording live on Facebook and then recording it. But I have absolutely no idea if this is recording or not. So if anybody's out there, please do let me know. The idea is with these chats that I'll just share about 10 minutes or so of updates of what's going on in life around here in northwest England, particularly obviously for those of us that have been, self-isolating, stuck at home, find our work and business has been going off, and just not really knowing whether or not we are going to, basically not knowing what's going to happen in the next few minutes, never mind in the next week or so. So, oh right, I can see Liz as well. Great, somebody's there. I didn't know if I was speaking into into complete silence or anything. Great to see you. Thank you, Malcolm and Liz. So, happy Mother's Day for those of you who are mothers, and for those of you with mothers, and for those of you missing your mothers. It's a really, really strange day, isn't it? I don't think the planet has ever known one quite like this. And for those of us who are not able to see our children or not able to be with your mum or whatever, sending lots and lots of love to you. It's very strange. I did have a chat with my son this morning, FaceTimed. First time we've actually FaceTimed. We tend to just chat on the phone or whatever. But he'd sent me a card, very nice card. He knows I love plants and tropical kind of colours, so he'd sent me a Mother's Day card from funkypigeon.com. And had a chat with him. He's in London and, concerned, obviously. He's still at work. He works on the big Google site in King's Cross, which at the moment is still carrying on working. So not sure how long he'll be going into work doing that. He's doing sort of management there. And anyway, he's with his girlfriend and he was fine and it was lovely to see him. But first time in 23 years not to actually be with him. So thinking of you all out there who are not with people. And it's just such a weird time, isn't it? I think, I don't know about you, but it really, really has hit home this weekend. Even from just a few days ago when it just seemed as if, it's going to be awful and to, I think when they shut all the pubs and clubs, yes, it's serious. And now, obviously, we're starting to talk about not going out. I have to say, don't shout me down or shoot me for this, but I did go out for a walk this afternoon. The weather's glorious. I went to Morecambe Bay, to a place that's not known by tourists. It would only be locals that would ever find it. And it was lovely, I tell you, just to get out. Everybody was keeping a good distance from each other, but there were families, there were kids, there was people walking their dogs, but very respectful at a distance, but so good to get out there in the fresh air. So I do hope that you're able to do that, but if you're not, then I hope you're managing to find ways to keep yourself occupied. Auntie Beryl and Uncle John, they live in a flat in Kendal and they have a little balcony, so they've just opened the door to get some fresh air. I just wanted to share a couple of kind of good news stories with you. A friend of mine, Fiona, she lives in a village called Wharton nearby and has, in the last week, been setting up the Wharton village sort of, emergency team to help people in the village who need shopping done, who want somebody to chat to, who need taking somewhere or anything. And in a 24-hour marathon, she'd organised a lot of volunteers in the village to, she'd had a load of leaflets printed and had organised a number of volunteers to take these leaflets, which she'd ordered hundreds of plastic wallets with emergency numbers and help for people who are being, stuck at home and need support. The local pub, the Malt Shovel, had offered to be a sort of collection delivery point, and all sorts of people have rallied around. And in 24 hours, virtually every house in Wharton had got their leaflets with what to do and who to contact in case of emergency. I'm part of the group offering support and coaching and having, people who want to have a chat. But well done, Fiona, for that, and all the people of Wharton who've rallied round. And I know this is happening throughout the country and throughout the world. The good things about people coming together and rallying round to support and help and make sure that people aren't feeling too isolated in really uncertain terms. And in fact, to show how well it works, on the volunteer WhatsApp group this morning, somebody messaged to say that they couldn't get hold of pull-ups for their toddler, and they hadn't been able to get any in the shops. And an hour later, somebody messaged back into that group and said they'd been to Morrison's, had managed to get some, and were delivering them to the village. And it's this kind of thing, that is really amazing in amongst everything that's going on, and the awful stories and scenes we're seeing from around the world of, it's good to see people pulling together. And the other thing I'd like to say, one of my clients who we've been working together for, about 6 months now, and she had been setting off down a completely new path in her work, and was going to be training to do one thing and hoping to have qualified by the end of the year. But unfortunately, she's not been able to obviously carry on with that just at the moment. So she's gone back to her network marketing, which obviously with online delivery, it's called Temple Spa. Her name's Jane Booker, if you look out for her on Facebook or social media. And so she's now sort of done a 180-degree turn. She had been doing Temple Spa for some time. She's decided to go back to it because we're all going to need treats through this. It's not all going to be doom and gloom and our hair growing down to our kneecaps. So she's gone now to look at how she can get back into that. The company is helping her an awful lot in terms of all the materials she needs to be able to provide some of the little luxuries of life for those people that want them. So part of what I'll be doing in these Quirky Coronavirus Chats is sharing good stories with you of, because there's enough doom and gloom out there. I certainly don't want to add to it. So that's the couple of good things. And the other thing, some of you know, is that I'm a tarot reader, and I'm a great believer in finding support and guidance and looking for positivity. So each of these sessions I am going to be pulling, I will have already pulled some cards to give some general guidance or advice from tarot decks. And the deck that I'm using today is called the Light Seers deck. It's quite a funky deck. I love it. And I've pulled 3 cards, one of which is a current situation, one of which is for a challenge, and one of which is opportunity. And this card is coming up an awful lot at the moment. It's the 5 of Wands. Now, Wands is to do with creativity. It's can be to do with work and that. But as you can see here, there's conflict going on. It's not major conflict. It's not massive fights, but it's like conflict of people pulling in different directions and people wanting one thing and somebody else wanting something else. And this current situation where also people don't know what the hell is going on. And I think it represents us all at this moment in time. And what it's saying is try to sort of turn and come together and pull. This is to do with creative energy. Pull that creative energy together. How can you help? How can you help other people? How can you use whatever you've got, that creative capacity, that passion, and help other people through this really tough time? The challenge is another 5, and this time it's the 5 of Swords, and this is to do with the stuff that's going on in our heads. If you like, that that big crow pecking away at the head. And a lot of us, I am sure, I don't know about you, I woke up this morning and it was like, oh, I don't know what's happening, and it's Mother's Day and it's feeling weird. And there's a lot of this stuff in our heads. And the advice of this card is to try to get things out of your head. Try not to get all pent up. Try not to let that peck go on. and try. The challenge for you, for all of us, is to try as much as we can to manage the worry. As I said in one of the previous chats, it's about actually look at what you can do. Look at the things that are positive, and try not to overlook at too much on Facebook and Twitter and everything about the negative. Just look at the constructive. How can I help? How can I help myself? How can I help others? And try to alleviate some of that stress. Swords is all about the intellect. It's all about the brain. And I think all of us, whatever sector we're in, are struggling again. And then the opportunity, and this opportunity is a great card. It's back to the Six of Wands, and this is about success and celebration. Now, it can be, in traditional terms, I would be saying, yeah, the energy in this card is really just celebrate success, whatever. But that's not the energy of this. This is about inspiring people. And if you look at there, she's like on a podium and her hands are up. And you could imagine her giving some kind of inspirational victory speech. You know, the old Winston Churchill, fight them on the beaches. And of course, we can't really go on the beaches these days, can we? But this opportunity is, how can you go out there and inspire others and support others and help? Because there will be plenty of opportunities for you to do that. And then finally, I pulled a card from the Spirit Animal deck, and this one, Parrot Spirit. I love parrots. My mum used to love parrots, and they love the colourfulness, but this one is very interesting because it says, watch your words. And this is in two ways. We are all feeling a bit vulnerable and a bit shaky just at the moment. So watch how you're speaking to people. It's difficult to get a bit stressed and to sort of suddenly fly off the handle or about something. But please try and watch your words. But more importantly, watch those inner voices. What messages are you telling yourself? Watch the words and the messages that you're telling yourself through this. Because one of the biggest challenges is going to be managing our mental health as much as our physical health. So this lovely parrot is out there flying high and saying, just remember that inner voice that you have going on that's running inside your head. Try and shift that to a positive voice, inner and outer. So finally, I will be putting this on my YouTube channel. It's obviously going out live now on Facebook and you can watch it there. But my channel is The Quirky Coach, YouTube. And I think I've got 15 subscribers. It's going to go viral, isn't it? Ah! So please do go over there, subscribe to the channel. I won't be doing these every day, I don't think, but maybe every couple of days. And I do hope that they give some inspiration, some uplifting messages, some motivation, just to keep us all going and to keep us in the right direction, and help us to keep our heads when hopefully all around us are not losing theirs. So lots of love on Mothering Sunday, Mother's Day, to all of you from here in the Costa del Carrefour.